Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another D&D, I guess, storytelling. I still don't know exactly what to call this. But, last episode, the group managed to revive Raywin after his lovely dining with a dragon. By that, I mean he got eaten by a dragon and died. But anyways, they managed to revive him. They managed to check out another city, Silvermoon City, where they met Alistar, the king's son, who then returned a Stormwind, and the group kind of sat there for a little bit waiting for Ryan to wake up. However, waiting for Ryan to wake up, Maheen, Oberon, and Azora made their way to Ironforge, where Maheen earlier received a note saying that she needs to head there to meet at this hunter's tavern where people need to talk to her. They made their way to Ironforge, entering the tavern, seeing 4 cloaked figures who Maheen talked to. They all appeared to be members of the Thieves Guild that she was previously in. They told her that her best friend Melora, who Maheen was originally looking for and trying to find out what happened that night where she went unconscious and ended up being raised by a shaman. They explained a little of the story, how Melora set up this huge heist where there was lots of gold, lots of valuables to be stolen. However, Melora wasn't coming. The group continued, trusting Melora's word, and eventually ended up getting caught by guards. It appeared to be a huge setup. On their way to escape from the guards, hopping across rooftops, one of the Thieves Guild members threw a teleportation stone to another one of the Thieves Guild members, but missed and hit Maheen in the head, causing her to go unconscious and fall off the rooftop. The guards, however, did not chase her, which the rest of the Thieves Guild thought was really suspicious. But they decided to head back to Stormwind to see if they could find Melora and get questions for her, and find out basically why they set them up, or why she set them up. Made their way back to Stormwind, searching around Stormwind for a long part of the day. They did eventually find her and proceeded to chase her. They tried spells and all kinds of variations to catch her, but none managed to succeed, and she did end up escaping them. However, Oberon did manage to see that she entered into her house. Maheen telling the group to go in different positions, get ready. She knocked on the front door, and Melora greeted her happily with a hug, and told her to come inside. They exchanged talks. Maheen was really curious of what happened that night, and Melora said that being thieves, the main thing you want is gold. You want to become rich, have wealth galore. Well, she was caught by one of the royal guards, and instead of being captured, she made a deal with them that she would give up the location of the Thieves Guild locations and hideouts and list of members in exchange for wealth, and on one condition: if you leave Maheen alone and do not come after her. So all warrants for Maheen were removed, and the guards made a deal because they were tired of the Thieves Guild, especially since they were stealing from nobles and higher class. Maheen was not too happy with this. The Thieves Guild was still waiting impatiently outside. Maheen eventually started to hear footsteps coming their way, a loud array of footsteps. Melora said that it's too late for them. You can just, if you stay here with me, you don't have to worry about this. I can give you everything you want. She told Maheen that she loved her, that she didn't want to be just best friends. Eventually, the rest of the Thieves Guild broke in, hearing the conversation, raising hell with Melora. Melora asking Maheen, what do you want? Do you want to stay here with me, or do you want to go with them? The Thieves Guild, in a rage, wanting to kill Melora, but waiting on Maheen to answer. Maheen turned away and said, "Do what you want," talking to the Thieves Guild. The Thieves Guild proceeded to surround Melora and then proceed to kill her While she was on the ground, not dead yet, Melora called out for Maheen. Maheen coming over and holding her in her arms, with tears coming down her face. Melora handed her a dagger that she made especially for Maheen, that had her name on it. Was full of nature and just surrounded in a beautiful enchantment. Anyhow, sorry for that cutout. Someone entered my room because they don't know how to read the sign. But anyhow, after Melora's death, the guards did break in, seeing that the death of Melora did happen. The whole entire house was surrounded by guards, after creating quite a bit of havoc inside the town, inside the main town district. A woman leading the guards appeared to be the ambassador of the king himself. Asked for the names, and hearing Maheen's name, was really curious of who she was and where she grew up, but Maheen didn't answer. She then led him to the castle where King Anaris would decide their fate. King Anaris stated that stealing and killing is a huge crime and will result to death. He told the guards to leave the room and then drew his sword, walked up to them, and said, basically, how do you want to do this? I'm not going to kill you. I heard what Melora did. I know that you guys are probably mad, and it makes sense, but I'm not going to kill you. It doesn't make, it's not right to me. However, you do have to leave Stormwind. Maheen, you're actually allowed to stay, considering you were the hero of Goldshire. You did help the town, and there weren't any warrants set up for you, so no one knew you were a thief to begin with. He asked the rest of the Thieves Guild to rather to make fake corpses of themselves to give to the guards, saying the job is done, don't worry about it, take down the warrants and anything like that. They took a night to kind of sleep it off, realize what just happened. Maheen was quite upset, meeting up with Ranzor, and then heading to pick up Raywin, who was nice and better, waiting for them to come back. He seemed to be better for a little bit. They then decided to head to Undercity, where Ranzor wanted to go for the Temple of the Raven Queen. Raywin, Maheen, and Ranzor first made their way to the castle to ask for Alistair to see if he wanted to come with. The king wasn't too okay with it. However, Ranzor made was pretty convincing to letting Alistair come. So the king did agree, and Alistair headed off with him, Alistair being a paladin. They made their way to Undercity, taking the airship, who Alistair paid for, to Tristfor Glades, where Undercity was located. Upon arriving at Undercity, the kingdom that was there was completely destroyed and in ruins. However, the Temple of the Raven Queen that was outside of the kingdom was in perfectly good shape. Ranzor entering, leading down a huge flight of stairs, arrived at a door that was that a cloaked figure stood, pointing at Ranzor, telling only him to come down. Ranzor following into this empty room where the only thing that was inside there was a pool of blood. Ranzor, not knowing what to do, reached his hand into the pool of blood and found stairs leading down into the pool of blood. He then decided to walk inside, being completely covered in blood, and ends up in a completely white space where a big porcelain mask greeted him, this being the Raven Queen. Ranzor asking what he wanted from the Raven Queen. The Raven Queen telling him that death happens. However, some lives were meant to last for a lot longer, and shit happens. But She agreed to help Ranzor if Ranzor became her champion, and went to Shadowfell to receive the Resurrection Stone that is guarded by a Shadow Dragon. Ranzor agreed, and then leaving the Raven Queen's temple to regroup with the rest of his group, telling them what happened, a little of his backstory. The group then decided to head to the ruined cathedral, or the ruined kingdom, where Maheen saw that there was symbols on the walls, thieves' cant, which is the language of thieves, pretty much. They made their way to the Undercity, which is below the destroyed kingdom, where they were greeted by a halfling who told them about the Slayer's Take, where they accept contracts to kill monsters for rewards, a lot of gold. The group liked this pretty much and decided to enter. They were explained by the queen who was there that the first contract is the most important one. If you fail it, you would be banished from Undercity and not be allowed to enter. However, if you do succeed, you would be granted a member of the Slayer's Take, and you'll be allowed to come here whenever you want and ask for assistance or sleep here, whatever you desire. Contracts come every day, new ones, so you don't have to worry about not getting a contract with you. They decided, alright, that this sounds like something they want to do. They like the idea of gold and like the idea of killing, especially Ranzor. They received a contract for a Goth, Gauth, which is similar to Beholder, but not as strong, I guess you can say. They had to return 3 eye stalks and the big eye in the middle, and the Beholder. Basically, for the contracts, they receive a bag. This bag is completely cooled inside. When you drop it, it's similar to a bag of holding, except there's a bag back at the Slayer's Take where an item is dropped inside the bag they have. It appears at the bag at the Slayer's Take. So they can retrieve it, keep it cool, and put it under the necessary requirements for it to stay not disposed, or, the group agreed, and they were also allowed to take a person from the Slayer's Take. Looking around, they decided to take a cleric named Kira. Kira gladly came with them, and they made their way up to the mountains where they were told where the Goth is currently located. The first night, as they were sleeping, Ranzor being on guard duty, did not hear anything. Maheen also did not hear anything as she was sleeping, but when they woke up, or when Ranzor woke up Maheen to switch spots, she did see that her magical items were gone. Her dagger that she just got from Melora, and Ranzor's 2 new maces of fire and ice. And they decided to wake everyone up to start looking around and heading towards the mountains at a faster pace to see if they could catch whatever it was that caught their magical items. They arrived at the bottom of the mountain. Looking up, Raywin saw that there was just something peeking down the mountain looking at them, but he didn't get a good enough view to see what it was. They decided to head up the mountain. They decided to climb it. Alistair first climbed it, Alistair trying to climb it, wearing his plate armor. He was a little too heavy and fell, and landing on the ground, taking some damage, but he was okay, managed to climb it back up. Kira is first to arrive at the top of what looks to be a cave entrance. They decided to go into it, seeing 2 gazers, which are non-intelligent beholders. They're green, like 4 inches in diameter, big green spheres with eye stalks. They managed to kill the gazers, however, not stealthily. Raywin did fail at stealthing really bad, and they decided to enter this room. Upon entering, though, this huge circular platform, the bridge that they walked in on fell, and when they looked down, there was a huge pit of lava that they were standing above on this little platform. The Goth came down and began to attack. He began shooting his rays at people. They went into a heap of battle. Kira, however, was hit by a ray that caused her to get pushed off the ledge 100 feet down into lava. The group quickly broke into action, bringing a rope down to try to help Kira. They did manage to bring her up. However, the platform they were standing on, the one that Maheen and Alistair were standing on after bringing Kira up, began to shake and tremble and break. They both fell. However, Alistair did manage to grab Maheen before falling into the lava and throw her up onto the platform as Alistair plunged into the lava. The group began to break into a panic, knowing that Alistair is the king's son, and we did kind of convince the king to, let the son come. So if he dies, we are really, really, really well screwed. They did manage to save Alistair. Oh no, I got that messed up. Alistair was close to death. The group couldn't do anything because Alistair couldn't grab onto the rope that was lowered for him. Kira decided to risk her life to jump into the lava and try to tie Alistair on this rope so that they could pull him up. So Kira jumped into the lava willingly, and tying Alistair and bringing him, tying the rope onto him so that they can pull him up. The group did manage to pull Alistair up, healing him up as Raven was knocked into the lava. But he did manage to get back up and fine. And Kira, however, who was still burning after saving Alistair was brought to the top, and Alistair was healed. Alistair then realizing, seeing Kira jump into the lava, decided he can't leave her. He needs to go down there and save her. Maheen and Ranzor was against that, did not like the idea of Ranzor going back down there. Ranzor threatening Alistair, saying, if you go down on that rope, we're going to cut it. Alistair then looking at Ranzor and telling him to do it as he climbed down the ladder, sticking his hand in the lava to try to find Kira's body, who they did not know was dead. He then managed to pull her out of the lava with just 1 HP left and bring her to the top. They did manage to kill the Goth then exploding when they killed it. They did manage to find the parts they needed and put them inside the bag. Alistair quickly picked up Kira and began leaving the place and heading back to the Slayer's Take, where they could hopefully bring back Kira. However, they when they got there, they had clerics began to perform the resurrection ritual. Alistair taking part, same with Maheen and another member of the Slayer's Take, being a bard. They each said their own words. However, the resurrection did not work, and Kira did die during the mission. The Slayer's Take went into a bad state. Kira was a well-known member, a well-known cleric, one of the best clerics that were there. And each kind of just did their own thing. Alistair sat by the table with Kira as her body laid there. Maheen and Ranzor kind of sat at the bar, Ranzor especially drinking. The next day, Ranzor decided to go inside the pit, which is an arena for fighting. Try to fight some of the locals there. He first decided to fight a monk who was intimidating just the most. Ranzor got a couple hits on him before the monk knocked him to the sand. Ranzor then deciding to fight the fighter, who almost killed him in one shot, and then decided not to fight the barbarian, who was the champion. Maheen and Ranzor both decided to try to fight the fighter and the monk together inside the pit. Did not succeed, and then Ranzor and Maheen decided to fight each other, Ranzor becoming victorious. The group then decided to take on another contract, this time without Raven, just the fighter and Alistair again, to take on a wyvern that was caught in town, or a nearby town. However, they had to be careful because civilians were on the line. They did manage to save all the civilians and defeat the Wyvern and get back to the Slayer's Take with no difficulties, no casualties this time. And that's where we ended the episode for last Thursday's session. So yeah, it's getting pretty good. I still have a lot planned. There's some pretty good stuff coming up, which I'm excited for. They're really excited too. I think I'm doing a pretty good job at being a DM. That's just my opinion, though. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying this series, as always, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment below what you're enjoying about this. I always like to hear from you guys, and I will see all you guys in the next episode or the next video. So bye-bye.